Ryan, mate, welcome to the show. Good to have you here.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Here
Glad to
for
be here.
another job box session where we're sitting down with hospitality legends. Jerry,
Yes.
how do you know Ryan, and why, out of all the people in Belfast, why
First of all,
is Ryan's
I'm
story?
Why am I here,
So
Jerry?
chuffed. Absolutely. I was over the moon whenever you said yes, because your story is just unbelievable. And how you've brought Rome to where it is, and the restaurant in the city centre, for basically someone who had no interest in cooking. Initially, anyway, till
No,
you went
100%.
to the Lisburn Road and started peeling vegetables.
That's it. I like any kid, finished school and with that man dad gave me grief about getting the job. So I was working here, there, and everywhere, doing all sorts. I've worked everywhere,
Yeah.
Retail and doing other bits. And then I actually ended up doing a job up in Poglass Industrial Estate, making curry paste.
Oh, unreal.
So that was kind of my first introduction to cooking. It wasn't really cooking, like you were throwing,
Yeah, 'cause that would have been on
100
the
kilo of
industrial
flour
estate,
and 25 kilo of sugar and everything else, curry powder in their mixer, and then coming back a couple of hours later it was finished. But yeah, and then left that. The hours were crazy. Thought chefing was bad. That was worse. And then started working Lisburn Road Slims. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Just-
And then that then sort of gives you sort of a wee bit of interest, a wee bit of love for the kitchen then. Or did you get out of it again then?
No, that was it.
That was it.
Went in there. It was just another job. Didn't see it
Yeah.
as doing me bits of washing dishes, whatever else, and then doing bits of prep. Fella gave me a chance. They needed a hand, and yeah, they needed all bits done. So I was like, yeah, I'll do this. Knew nothing. I mean nothing at all.
Like, when you say nothing,
I mean,
are you making like beans and toast for your lunch, or could you at least know how to like cook for yourself?
I mean, I would have knew how to fry a steak,
yeah.
but if they sent me in one time to get courgettes, didn't know what they were in the fridge.
Epic.
You ever see that one where Paddy Swayze's in the thing?
Yeah.
That was
Well,
me.
I think I read somewhere you said you would have burnt soup.
Honestly,
before-
didn't know how to make soup.
Yeah.
A standard soup base. I was like, fuck, I'm nervous making this here type thing.
yeah.
But yeah, that's where it started. And it wasn't for a while after doing it. You realize how much I didn't know.
Yeah.
After you run about a year, you're like, this is sweet. I know what I'm at here. Still don't you're constantly learning every single day. So, yeah, that was that start of it.
And then whenever you left there, is that when you joined up with Gemma?
Yeah, so Gemma actually ended up coming to work in Slims. I stayed in Slims. I was working there about 5.5 years. So started out doing sort of prep jobs and everything else, and then went down in the service kitchen. Then got a real taste for it. That's when I started really enjoying it, the fast pace, And then Gemma came to join us. She was in Old Crawford's, Berlin. And then, she came down to join us there for a couple of years. And then she moved on, done other things. I kept in touch with her. And then asked her, "Do you want to come and work on output with me?" Yeah.
Brilliant.
Wee brunch restaurant. Heavily focused on pastries and stuff too. And Gemma's that's her thing. So yeah, it was a good fit. She came there for a couple of months.
And then was that up until when sort of COVID hit?
A wee bit before that, I think it was January 2020. Maybe I left, or maybe the year of 19. Yeah, I can't remember it. So yeah, I left there. Went on another brunch thing up in Finnegate, Devonshire. Done calf, opened that up, got that going, and then it was then I was like, still doing the pop ups on the side. So I was like, let's get this thing going here.
So you'd already started the pop up.
Pop ups were going for 4 years. Yeah, started in 2018. First one was October. Tony and Jens and Lisburn Road's not there anymore. Just met Tony outside actually. Funny, just before I came in here. Yeah, he was the first person to let us take over his space.
Brilliant.
So eternally grateful to him. Yeah, the first pop up was terrible. I felt sorry taking money off people at the end of it. Felt terrible for us anyway. Everything all planned out and spent weeks creating a menu and everything else. And never worked in the kitchen, never used any equipment, and it just dragged on seemed like for everything. It was about 3.5 hours. Yeah, 5-course tasting menu, but it dragged there for ages.
But it must have been really difficult because each pop up was in a different venue. So you're working with different ovens, you're working
Crazy.
with different cookers
It's the worst idea ever. It's like the opening night of a restaurant every single
night.
time you do a pop up.
mate.
Yeah.
So if you don't have absolutely everything you need there and then, you're snookered.
But it must be a brilliant learning experience then.
You learn so
'Cause
much.
you're getting everything thrown at you.
You learn we learned so much, like how to, not like down to everything, how to work with people, how to manage your space, your time, you know, or being organised. Like it was totally about being organised.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, I don't miss it.
And then I'm assuming and guessing that the name Rome came from the fact that you weren't in one venue. but
Exactly
you were-
that.
you were in
Flemmy, Jerry, you've done your homework. This is unbelievable.
know,
I I could have just like not showed up.
know,
We were joking before.
Cracker,
Jerry's
like-
running the show.
He sets him up and I'll speak him.
Love that. So yeah, so you literally you were roaming around, and then
Yeah, we
What
were
makes you
trying
decide
to
then?
come up with a name. And Natasha, my fiance, she was just like going through all different ones, and the first 40 names were terrible. And we wanted something short and sharp, and you know, snappy,
people
easier to remember. You know, and then that was Rome. Yeah, made sense.
class.
Brilliant. And as you say, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It sort of describes what the business.
Obviously, my first name, you know, Ran, and the R thing. People try and like do like, what is Ran?
Yeah, what does it stand for?
What does this mean? And then you're like, no, it's just because the room moved about.
It's
Yeah,
more simple than that.
yeah.
So how old were you when you took the first job? Not the curry paste job, but the Slim's job.
Slim job, I probably 19 maybe.
So you're 19. You're a young guy. You haven't really done much cooking before. What is it about the trade that made you stay in it? Because you could have just bounced to another job.
Yeah, there's loads really, all of it. The unknown, like not knowing anything, kind of give me a bit of a buzz to learn more. Do you know what I mean? If you go in working in, say, a retail job, working in Zara, folding suits, there's not much more I can do here, but fold these suits really well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then I got, like, the more you started learning, the more you started knowing, like the more you realise you didn't know anything still. You go and pick up a book, you're reading, they're like, I didn't know this ingredient existed or this method, or, you know, there's a whole unknown side of it. The crack in the kitchen, I was working with people I knew, it was like unbelievable, like getting to listen to tunes all day. Just the relaxed side of it, I loved, because that's the place I was in. It was very casual. So yeah, I loved the whole side of it. And the
'Cause I mean,
amazing people you meet.
It has to be, out of all the hospitality jobs, I would say the kitchen has to be the most demanding and high pressure.
It is. I always kept myself in decent enough shape playing football constantly, so it's sort of similar in that way.
Yeah.
You know, you have to be up ready to go when it's come service time. Yeah. And there's a fella I work with for 5 years, Colin Andrews. He's like an OGE chef, like he's the original, working schoolhouse in Bangor, so he's been about, and he sort of ignited the fire to, there was much more to do, like, you know, so working alongside him really made it drop.
Then
and click.
even with you being self-taught and learning as you went along, but you must have a good palate. You must have a good sense for flavours and food and taste.
So alongside that, I had eating out was like, I just loved eating out.
Oh yeah.
I was like a foodie before it was cool, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Loved going to restaurants, loved knowing about the people that worked in the restaurants, the chefs,
Brilliant.
the story and how they got there and where they worked previously. I was just into it, just loved it so much. Loved drinking wine too.
Yeah.
And both go hand in hand. So a lot of my learning as well came from eating out, travelling, going to good restaurants and destinations. So yeah,
That's
was
a
passion.
brilliant foundation to have, because you already had a.
Well, I like going, like travelling and eating good food.
Yeah.
Like there's not much better things to do in life. Do you know what I mean?
True.
Yeah, trying to find out the good restaurants in whatever city you're in, and yeah, that's
So then, when the pop-ups obviously started to get better and better,
yeah.
and then COVID came along, so
Uh-huh.
you couldn't have a pop-up. So
Yeah.
is that when the collect?
That's when the boxes came. Yeah. I seen a few other ones doing it. I was like, well, I won't do. Don't know. Didn't know if I had enough of like a name sort of, or a platform, whatever,
Yeah.
for it. Because like big restaurants were doing it in the city centre.
I remember
like-
Big Dino doing it.
Oh, aye.
Yeah.
They done it. A Peak done it. Ox done it. Others didn't do it. But a couple of other ones.
Yeah.
Noble done really well.
Noble done
Stock.
it.
I think they're still doing it. So we were just like him and Han, where it would be a good idea. And that says we'll do one, see how it gets on. You know, thankfully it went well, sold out and everything else. And I enjoyed it then because it's middle of a pandemic. There's not much else happening. So I just spent my time trying to think of like nice creative ways to to get a good meal in someone's kitchen. Like, it doesn't really have experience. So yeah, done
Brilliant.
the whole steps, the whole how to's, paired a playlist with it. Done.
Wow.
I thought that was one of the most amazing things, that you created a playlist
Yeah,
to go with the food you were sending out.
because the way
I thought that was brilliant.
yeah, the whole thing about the pop-ups was like the atmosphere it creates.
Yeah.
It's not like, it wasn't like sitting in a restaurant.
Mhm.
You were like on a night out. The music was loud. There's people up dancing, people singing. You know, there was drinks getting shook here and everywhere. It was really something different. Like, so
Yeah.
we wanted to still create that, like give
Yeah.
give that good buzz, like while having a meal. So yeah,
Because suppose at the end of the day, the whole thing about the reason people go out to a restaurant, it's not just for something to eat, it's the whole experience.
it's an event every time.
Exactly.
It's
yeah.
an absolute event. So
Because like we would have took advantage of some of the collect the meals going out
click
from
and
the-
collect. Yeah,
and they were brilliant. But I always stipulate, he's mean, when we get this, we're not sitting in front of the TV eating it.
you have to
We'll
sit.
sit at the table
That's
and
what it was
we'll
all
make-
about.
Yeah, and we'll make as if we are out in a restaurant.
Yeah.
We sort of
Well, not just
we
sit in front of the TV.
suggested a table setup. Suggested what sort of crockery to use.
Brilliant.
You know, yeah. So we wanted to create that sort of dining out experience because there wasn't much else happening. Like, and
Yeah.
people were looking forward to this. You know, sort of. We used to do them we've done them every month for a while, and then started getting really popular. Started them every 2 weeks. So,
And then there was one Valentine's Day, he's done 160 on Valentine's Day.
it was
That's some going, like.
it was rough. It was me and Natasha doing it. Like, just
Yeah.
the cooking bit was fine. You're used to that, but see the boxing up all the wee
Oh,
bits.
man.
All different elements and trying to keep them all separate, and
Yeah.
they're getting cooked differently and chilled different. It was mental. But obviously doing Chateaubriands, because it was Valentine's Day,
Yeah.
searing them all off and wrapping them up, and Jesus, it was something like.
It's crazy.
It was
So
rough.
you talk about, like, being a foodie before it was cool. Where did you? What's a non-wanky way to say this? I'll just say it in a really wanky way, and you can correct me. Like, when did your palate first awaken? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what were some
Yeah.
of the early experiences where you were like, here, see this food thing, like beyond like going and getting a big, nice
like a big
cheeseburger.
burger.
You know what I mean?
I love them too. Like, I love dirt, love the filth. Like,
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
it. I love it all. Like, all of it. But eating out in Knox, just changed everything. I obviously when we started eating in Knox, started going to different cities and trying to find out business star restaurants. But eating there first, I was like, this is a different level here. This is insane.
So, like, talk to me about that, because him and I could go to Ox today,
Aye.
right? We could eat it, and we'd be like, that was nice, like, wasn't it? And then that's it. That's
Nah.
our life doesn't change. No light bulbs go off on our head. Like, what was going on with you there?
I don't think that'll happen.
Yeah.
No. I tend to agree.
You'll be sitting
Yeah.
in this room looking about you, and you'll be like, something special's happening here. Like,
Yeah.
it's truly special. So, eating there, and then I left Slim's, went to work at Mother's Club. Just went for a week. It was enough. It was
Wow.
mental at the time. Yeah, long hours. Wasn't ready for it. But doing that, and then just seeing like the respect that these people have for ingredients.
Yeah.
You're just like, this is a whole world here. This is a whole new world that I can tap into.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the more you eat in these places, the more
No, definitely agree.
special it gets.
I mean, I love going out for meals. I love the whole experience. It's not even just the food; it's the whole experience.
Yeah.
Of good service, good wines, brilliant food, well presented. It's the total experience. And I think the one that hit me similar, maybe with you with Ox, and I've been to Ox and I've had that same experience in Ox and the Mulder's Club. The one that had it for me was McNeil's House in Blackland.
I haven't been heard all about it.
I was just, how did they do that? How have they just like nailed my whole palate with this amazing food
There's
that you
nothing.
know that you can never do when you go home?
That's what it's about. It's about food you can never recreate
Exactly,
in the
yeah.
house or even in some restaurants. Like, it really, I find myself laughing sometimes. I'm like, what is happening here? This is mental, but yeah. So it's yeah. There's very few things better than having a memorable meal, like a
Totally,
glass of wine,
totally.
especially with someone sitting across the table from me. That
And
You like-
is your girlfriend, who we've just found out you're marrying at the end of this week,
yeah,
Um,
getting married on
she
Friday.
the same, foodie the
She's the
same?
same.
Yeah.
Ox obsessed. Really loves Mother's Club. Yeah. So yeah, loves eating out. Loves it.
And is that what you get? Because I mean, I'm lucky enough of being to Rome a couple of times, and the present. I mean, the food's obviously amazing, brilliant, but your presentation's outstanding.
Yeah, we try to keep it like simple.
Yeah.
Like we probably do. It's a bit more casual, a bit more laid back. So try and keep it like simple and the way it falls type thing. You know, don't try and be too arsey about it. Like, you know, try and keep the tweezers to a minimum.
But it always looks stunning when it arrives, and
But
of course your tableware
I think that's
the choice
simplicity
of
though.
tableware as well.
It's the crockery's good, and you know the wine glasses they're like cling film. So trying to keep them pricey, but trying to keep it simple. Yeah, keep it simple and just it's all about flavour. Worry about
And you're
what it
obviously
looks like
the flavour,
after.
and you're obviously into the detail as well with all those.
100%. I think our food's like very punchy. Everything, there's nothing that sort of gets lost. Like you'll taste
everything,
each individual element, and hopefully they come together. Like in the end, try and make each of them really tasty, and then that'll.
And it's exciting as well.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like
Trying to do something new.
You go, my God, that's unbelievable. Like how do you get this flavour out of it? You know, it's fantastic. Like absolutely.
And humble enough ingredients too. Like trying to keep.
Yes.
It, yeah.
And you're very much into local ingredients as well.
Definitely. I think it's a way to go, especially if you're looking into like, you know, the effect on the planet and everything else. So I think using local ingredients will push here even better.
Yeah.
If no one's banned from these, you know, artisan farms, small growers, like they're not going to be there. So it's very important to buy from them.
So then, how do you come from like self-taught, learn yourself, and doing the pop-ups, and then doing the click and collects, and then having your own city centre restaurant at a time when I have to say that must have took an amazing.
Some will say brave and some will say fairly stupid. But yeah, it felt time is everything. It felt like the time for us to do it, and not getting
your gut feeling
not getting
was
any
that this
younger.
is the right
I knew myself what it was going to be, what it was going to look like,
Yeah.
and I knew it was somewhere I want to eat. So I feel like some other people would enjoy it too. Do you know what I
And
mean?
you'd already built up your team by this stage, hadn't you?
Handpicked our team. We already worked with all these people, knew what their capabilities were, and had a bit of a following. It's not as if we're starting from scratch.
Yeah.
You'd be doing pop-ups 4 years, you know what I mean?
I think one of the most important things you said was that they were as passionate about this
Totally.
Rome restaurant as what you were.
Oh, they push
And
as
that-
much as me, 100%.
That makes things happen.
Yeah, sous chef are incredible. Pastry chef's unbelievable. Front of house, restaurant manager Anthony, as you know, is
Yep.
on the ball constantly. Barman looks amazing. Shauna run the. Yeah, so everybody's totally committed to it, like, and up for it. And it's you know yourself, you can go and have a great meal, but the service is brutal.
Totally.
You'll be like, I'm not coming back there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
And they all
it's
feel
everything.
part of.
Totally, they were there.
Yeah,
They're
all
there
part
from day
of it,
one.
day one.
They've done.
Yeah.
They've worked at pop-ups, transferred that in, coming and working
Yeah.
in a restaurant. Like, so it's as much as them as it is me. You know what I mean?
And then the awards must have just started
Yeah.
coming in because you see they
Crazy.
won everything, didn't they?
No, we won best newcomer.
At the Irish
in the
Restaurant Awards.
Irish
or
Restaurant
just-
Awards, yeah, for Antrim, and then one for Ulster as well. So it was nice. Like, it was our first time ever going to the awards. Like, so it was really nice to pick something up. Against some incredible restaurants too. So yeah, it was lovely. Lovely to be on like a sort of national scale, I suppose. Got a couple of nice
Totally,
write-ups and Irish Times and that. So yeah, it's nice to be recognised for the hard work, like, too. You know. So
And George Main's certainly a big fan.
can't get rid of him. Can't keep him out. Like, it's pressure. Obviously, he comes in, dines fairly enough, and he keeps it quite casual. But you're still have to be on your toes.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's George Min or Joe Blogs. Anyway, you want it to be
Exactly. Just for
Yeah.
everybody, yeah.
100%.
Everybody.
And I think it sort of is a restaurant for kind of everybody. Like, you know, it's not overly pretentious. It's not, you know.
Oh, it's totally chilled out.
It's
and
totally
relaxed
chilled
and
out and
casual
relaxed.
and-
Yeah, good food and
but with top end food.
just good, really good ingredients.
Yeah.
Yeah, and try and have a nice influence on them. And that's it. Like, you know, we don't take ourselves too seriously either. Like, you know, it's
Yeah.
it's a nice gaff to go in. Like, so.
So again, that like transition, like I really liked what you said about how it was the desire to learn and the desire to like not be a noob. That's the way my brain kind of processed it. That kept you going. How do you go from like, okay, now I want to own a place. Now I want to get into the business of hospitality rather than just working inside it. If that makes sense.
It actually wasn't so much owning a business that drove me to open a restaurant. Sounds strange. I'm not massively into that side of things.
Sure.
You know, numbers and all that stuff's not my gig. Like, I just wanted to have a place that I could do what I want on the menu. Have no owner saying, "Oh, I don't know if that's going to work," or "You need to work these hours, you need to do this," because it's going to work all the hours on the sun anyway, so it doesn't make a difference. So I wanted to just do something that I could do for myself, do everything that I wanted to within that space, and make decisions for myself rather than having to listen to someone else. So that was that. The food side of things, we wanted to have total control of the menu, total control over the cocktail list, the wine list. So that was that. That's how
and
it came
everything
about.
complements everything, which is
Yeah,
brilliant as
it
well.
all works. Like it all like, yeah, as you say, it all complements each other. I think so anyway. It's all sort of similar style and stuff. Yeah, the cocktails and all are obviously, you know, are very high standard, and it's massive as well. Like for what the kind of restaurant we are, laid back and chilled, and the music's a wee bit louder, and you know it's a bit of a noisier room, and it all feeds into that. I think like so. Yeah, that's what we wanted to create. Didn't want to have to like stick to your traditional restaurant setup.
Yeah.
Because Rome
But
isn't
you're
like
saying
that.
there, like even you were saying about the music being that wee bit louder and a bit, but it attracts all age groups. Like I've been
100%.
in, and there's been people in their 70s, and there's been
Yeah.
people in their teens,
Yeah,
and everybody enjoying the experience regardless.
it's not for everyone. Like
Yeah.
we do have people coming in saying it's a bit too loud in here. It's not for me. Someone told me that I need to hang mattresses off the ceiling. The soft furnishings that keep getting mentioned as well. I'm like, it's not where
It's not
about.
your bag.
It's not where about. You can go like 100 other restaurants in the city. They're going to be a bit quieter and chilled out. And yeah, Rome is but it's out there and it's by itself. It's out there being like we're not trying to copy anybody else. We're not trying to be anybody else. We just want to be ourselves and just do your own thing. And that's where we're at. Yeah.
Yeah.
Must have been crazy to walk in, you know, that opening week and just looking around. It's kind of like we have ownership here. Like we can do what we want. We can all the ideas we had in our head. We now have a playground to make that happen.
It was mental. Those like weeks leading up, I was in painting, doing fucking all sorts of random stuff out the back, power hosing, and me and my dad are at 8 o'clock from 8 o'clock in the morning one night, up painting walls and doing everything else and pulling down doors. And the opening week, you don't get a chance to do that lovely romantic. Wow, look at this. Everything like our gas thing got turned on to like about 6 hours before we were meant to open. And you obviously have to prep everything and have everything ready. We only done about 25 covers, like a soft opening. Felt like 125.
My goodness.
Nothing's in the right place. You know, like thought a pop up was bad, but these people that were now in a restaurant looking really good food, like so. It was mental first week, and then we sort of started getting their share a wee bit. Obviously, kind of quieter when you're first open. There was no queues down the street or anything like that.
Yeah.
Lunches were quiet, and evening times were dead on. Saturdays were always kind of busy. And then next thing you know, it was middle of November. Christmas parties, doing 50 for lunch and 100 for dinner. Like you're just like, this is absolutely insane. That was mental. So yeah, there was no real moment. I get it now every on Saturday night. I gotta be look, lift the head up and halfway look and be like, this is cool, like, cause the place is full, it's loud, and it's buzzing, and everybody's having the crack, and people constantly feel the need to come to the pass and say how much they enjoyed it, which is nice. It's open style
That's
kitchen.
lovely, yeah, that's brilliant when people do that.
Open kitchen, people coming up and saying thanks very much, or when they're walking past going to the toilet or anything else. They're always waving in, so it's nice to still have that sort of interaction with the room and the guests, like, you know.
Yeah, totally.
And it's funny, you were saying earlier, like when you were in Mulder's Club and it wasn't for you, too long hours and all that. And I bet you're actually doing more hours.
Oh,
than you've ever done.
100%.
But when you're doing
It's
it
for yourself.
it's a different feeling. It's
I wish
different.
I have stuck at it more. To be fair, Mullers, it was just I don't know what I was expecting, but I wish I'd have given it like a good year or two maybe, because you learn so much in there.
But
like,
then what happens, and maybe
that's it. It's just
coulda get settled in there
timing's
and- yeah,
everything. That's
exactly,
it,
yeah.
100%. It just wasn't for me at that time,
yeah,
and then sure, it worked
and
out
look
alright.
what's come out of it.
Yeah.
So do you see another Rome and Dublin, or
Nah, I don't think so. I don't. No, I couldn't probably recreate that
Yeah.
where it is and what it is somewhere else. I don't feel like anyway. Because as I say, I was so close to people who work there.
yeah,
They get exactly what
it's about.
it's about, what we want it to be. So it'd be very hard to take out to another city and transfer that energy into
Yeah.
something.
And you don't want to open a restaurant just for the sake of opening another restaurant.
No, I don't think so. I need to get this one right first before I think about doing anything like that. Get Rome open 2 or 3 years, and we'll maybe do something else. I love Belfast.
Yeah,
I love everything about it. I'd love to come here like as a city break or a holiday, like for a week, and just go everywhere and do all the things that
Yeah.
yeah,
tourists get to do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was walking about the Cathedral Quarter last Sunday morning. It was lovely. People had their dogs out having coffees and restaurants, and you can see everything starting to get hustling and bustling, get ready for the Sunday session. Like so,
yeah.
I know I love Belfast. So if anything else, I would do it here, not another city. Like
Brilliant, brilliant.
Talk to me about your location. Why'd you go for where you are?
Toyed with the idea of opening up Lisburn Road.
Yeah.
Didn't think Rome would have suited that sort of neighborhood style restaurant. It was more like city centre, loud, busy sort of type thing. And then looked at a couple of different locations, size, everything else, where it was. I wanted a sort of like a box room. Everything was in front of you. The whole room was in front of you, so you could see and feel how things were going, and keep an eye on things and watch how our guests receive the food and everything else. So that was massive. And at the time, that's unit just stuck out. Went and viewed a few different ones. Went and viewed one in the cathedral buildings, so the one just facing St Anne's or where our neighbourhood was.
Yeah.
Went and viewed that before them, and just too small. And it sure ended up having
Burned down, yeah.
a disaster. So yeah, that one stood out. The street's a bit dingy. It's a bit of a back street, kind of. But I really liked how central it was. Really close to City Hall.
Yep.
Yeah, easy to get to. A lot of foot traffic. So yeah, that was how the location came about.
Yeah, brilliant.
I like that it's not a sort of on the front of the road sort of thing. You have to walk past it and it catches your eye, and people constantly looking to stop in to see the wine glasses in the window, and they're like, "Oh right, what's that there?"
And even the fact that you're saying, did you ever get the same back whenever somebody stole it?
Nah, it's land the Holy Lands. Or
Somebody
something
has
somewhere.
that. Somebody
The
has
bottom
that
of
as
the
a,
lagging.
somebody has that as a trophy.
Someone has that
That's a trophy.
in
like.
their room. Like it's no
But
use to them.
But even the fact that you went for a very small sign that just, it's not a big glorious neon sign.
No.
Shouting out those.
No,
it
that's
was
not what we're
just very
about
classy.
too.
So, yeah.
Sort of kind of want to be humble about the whole thing too.
Yeah.
Like minimalistic. Cracking me saying I got a hand painted by a local artist, and it was just hanging on a wee hook. Someone's clubbing someone's shoulders and took it off and ran away into the night with it. Like, but yeah, I'm getting a new one made at the minute. So I've wee temporary one up now. But yeah.
I like the street. I didn't know the street until I worked for delivery for 3 years, and you're up and down that street like like nobody's business.
Yeah.
And it felt I'd just come from New York at that time. Had no money. I was working for Deliveroo casual, and that wee street, it gave me a bit of like a New York vibe, because it felt like, in the movies where it's like the steam's coming up from the sea.
exactly
That's what
that.
it felt like to me.
Exactly
Do you know what I
that.
mean?
That's what it feels like too. At night time, like there isn't much happening. There's nowhere else open by the time we close.
Yeah.
Sort of past 9:30, 10 o'clock, and there's people pouring out of our restaurant on this wee quiet street. And 9 times out of 10 there's a wee busker at the top of the street,
Yeah.
Joe, singing songs, and it's just a nice feeling to it. It can obviously Belfast can be a wee bit dodgy at night sometimes. You know what I mean? But for the most part, that wee street's dead on. It looks worse than what it is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, no, I really like the location. I love it.
Yeah, it's cool. And
Yeah.
it's you talk about the foot traffic's mad. Like that
Mental.
street there, that's like pouring into Corn Market. That's
Yeah.
got to be the busiest point in Belfast. Like, and you're literally just shooting off from it.
Yeah, it's a nice wee connect to the City Hall from like Cathedral Quarter as well. I think Belfast City Council are talking about doing a plan with 5 Cs to connect all the streets called C. Callendar Street, Castle Lane. They're looking to connect all them. So that'll be nice to be a part of that too. Like, there's a lot going on in the industry too. Everybody someone stores was.
Yeah,
There's
there
some new
is.
big developments
That'll
happening.
bring a lot of people to the area.
Yeah,
And even
So-
the people who are going to be working on it as well.
exactly.
You know, it's not just the people you're shopping at. The thing I like about that street as well is you're not lost in a whole array of like restaurants.
Vendors or 100%.
You sort of you get the chance to stand out that wee bit as well.
Kinda, yeah, because you have Trevor Burger takeaway sort of thing. Subways.
Such a random street. Isn't there like a wee seam, like a sew shop there as well?
She's a legend. The girl owns
That's
that.
unbelievable.
She brings us lambs. She brings us lambs every month. She's so sound. Like, box of lambs. Don't know why. One of her mates always has spare lambs. She says, don't know how or why. But
Got a lamb guy who doesn't.
I know she's not getting off a lamb tree. Like, it's not the weather here. Do you know what I mean?
You never know.
Yeah, no, she's lovely, and that wee shop's good to walk about in every now and again.
Yeah.
Makes you feel a bit claustrophobic. Makes you feel organised about yourself.
Yeah, I mean,
You go in there, it's chaos. Like, yeah, but no, it's a nice wee street. Everybody's all the other businesses are sound and welcoming and everything else. So yeah,
and it gives a good community feeling as well.
100%. The same people are about the street, and even the girls working sober all dead on. They're all constantly popping their head in, and deliveries getting delivered here, there, and everywhere. So yeah, it's nice. Like,
Brilliant. Brilliant.
What's the biggest difference you'd say in Rome now in comparison to say that opening week? Like, is there one big change or one big thing that you've kind of, as you've come into your stride, you're like, oh man, I wish we had clocked on that a bit sooner?
I think us just being comfortable there and what we're doing, the food is went from being sort of okay in our eyes anyway. We thought it was good. We thought it was class back then. Looking back, we were a bit like, oh, we could have done this better. So I think where the restaurant's at now compared to where it was 8 months ago, just all the overall finish to everything is better.
Everything's just been tweaked up.
Everything's just been tuned better.
Yeah.
The way we work's better. We were doing way longer hours. Trying to be over ambitious with the food we were doing. We sort of sat back and looked at it after Christmas. Like, we can streamline this, make it better, make it easier to work in. And you know, if it's easier to work in, happier staff, better end product, I think.
Totally.
Yeah.
But that's a learning curve that you go through.
No, 100%.
I mean, obviously you do things and you went, you know what, we thought, as you say, thought that worked at the time. Didn't really, but if we do it this way.
Thought we needed to add all these extra steps to, like, the product, what we're doing, the food. You know, the prep has to take this long, I have to do this and I have to do this way. And really, if you look at it logically and be like, we could just do this and make that easier and don't have to make that sauce for 3 days. It can take a couple of hours and still. So yeah, just streamlining everything we're doing, really making it a better place to work.
Yeah,
I think that's where we're at. Like,
and then your customers will realise that as well.
Totally.
Because if you get repeat custom, they're going to go here. Last time it was good, but this time it was like off the scale.
That's it.
And then that's why
we've had that. Back. Yeah, like if people came in September, October, and then they came back sort of January, February again. The difference in the food, I feel, was massive. Yeah. So yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah, definitely a better place than what we were. Organised ways, everything. Yeah. Everything.
And you said before we hit record, is it Wednesday to Saturday? Is that what you said?
Wednesday, Saturday, yeah.
Yeah, and so no Sunday?
No Sunday.
What was the thinking behind that?
Couple of different reasons. The style of food we're doing. Giving people 1 weekday off to spend with other people.
Yeah.
Their families and girlfriends and everything else. Because obviously you're not seeing people Wednesday to Saturday. You're in the morning, you're not leaving to 12. You're not getting home to 12 o'clock at night. So
yeah.
That, and then just to have a life, really, like
100%.
Because I think that's important, especially in the hospitality industry, and it's becoming more aware that people need a good life balance.
Totally, and if you want, the way staffing is now at the minute, if you want to hang on to people, you have to offer something attractive.
Yeah.
Like, for the most part, we all get, I'm out on Tuesday or whatever, but they get finished on Saturday night, they're not back in the Wednesday morning, so it's a nice break off.
Really nice.
You can plan stuff.
Yeah.
You could go on a city break, you hop on a plane on Sunday, come back on Tuesday evening, like, you know what I mean? So offering people that attractive place to work and the hours and stuff, that was definitely a major plan.
And are you guys, for the most part, like I've noticed since COVID, a lot of people moving towards like I don't know the technical term, but like a one team system where you don't need to have like yeah, that's really interesting to me.
We're all in on a Wednesday.
Wow.
And we're all in until Saturday night.
Wow.
Same team, closed the same hours. Restaurants closed like same weeks of the year. Everybody has their holidays together. So,
wow.
Yeah. Something I thought about massively, but then if we have say we have 2 people off,
Mhm.
2 front of the house off the same week, and the restaurant's open. It's a completely different experience.
Yeah.
Something that you can't train for. You can't, you know, you can't have a casual staff and come in and offer the same experience as the restaurant manager would.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing behind it. Like just yeah, that's the reason. So
And it keeps that consistency going, a good service.
it's totally about
and-
consistency, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, like even me trying to get like cover for people, they come in and it's sort of cagey and shaky for the first couple of hours. But that could be someone's first time in the restaurant,
Yeah.
and they've missed something. They don't do something the way we do it. So yeah, it's first impression is so important. So
Class.
we want to offer that same experience to everybody at all times.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Landing the plane.
What's that?
Said landing the plane.
London. Yeah. it's-
If you could take anyone from Northern Ireland out for a cup of coffee or a glass of wine or have a meal with them, who would you take and where would you take them and why?
I think I said Van Morrison, did I?
Why Van?
I reckon I could get him going. I reckon I'd drag a cracker at him. He's a bit of a grumpy old shite, like, but
yes.
few
Just
pints.
just go to the Claude and almost any afternoon.
I wasn't even taking the clone. I'd taken the Kelly Cellars. A few pints of Guinness and get him talking. I just wouldn't talk about him, so he didn't. You know what I mean? Talk about something else.
The only reason I mentioned the Claude is when he's home.
He lives
he's
there.
there
He
nearly
lives there
every day,
practically.
yeah.
Yeah. I know. I'm a massive fan. I find him really interesting. Just I'd love to go for a pint with him, chat some nonsense
Yeah.
over a few pints and a couple of bottles of wine.
Love it. Are you red or white?
All of it.
Yeah.
Aye.
Yes, one after my own. heart.
Depends on
Yes.
what you're eating.
Exactly. Yeah. 100%. If it's good weather outside, I'll have a couple of bottles of white, and then when the sun goes down, I'll go on to the red. Like no, I'm not fussy. Not fussy. I love it all.
As long as it tastes good.
As long as it tastes good, aye.
I had a lovely bottle of wine on Saturday. We were up in Shoe, and it was a wine from Uruguay,
Okay. Magic.
and it was stunning.
Different.
Full-bodied, really smooth, absolutely, really, really stunning. And
It's hard to beat. Like
Love the
it's
hell
hard to
of
beat a
it.
good bottle of wine.
yeah, totally.
And it's interesting as well. You start to, even though you have all these apps now, you can just bang the wine in the app and it'll tell you the whole backstory
Yeah.
in the vineyard
Wow.
and the
Makes it a
growers,
lot easier.
producers.
And a lot of the snobbery about wines went away.
It actually
You have
has
to have white wine with fish, and you have to have red wine. with
Aye,
wine,
it's
which is a load of nonsense.
a load of
really, like.
nonsense. I don't know a whole lot about wine. I know how to drink it. Like don't know a whole lot about it. I know what tastes good and what doesn't really, and that's as far as I go with it. Like yeah, there's not better.
I'm still not used to chilled, when you go abroad, chilled red wine.
See, I like it.
I'm
enjoy it.
Maybe catching on to it, but maybe it's because I like a more full-bodied red wine.
Yeah,
This is really heavy. It
yeah.
isn't so good chilled.
Uh-huh.
The lighter red wines are nicer chilled.
I think it's different, something different. Yeah,
But that it's strange. Like, and maybe it's just something.
maybe it's a mental thing more than a
It
taste
could
thing.
be more because like I'm really old school when it comes to wine. It's like bottle of Mondays and a brown bag in the
Aye.
park. And
Buckfast.
I've never had. I've tried Buckfast once, and no, I would love to like Buckfast.
Really?
But no, it's never.
Producer will take you out here. He'll show you.
No, you can't.
He knows way around a bottle of Buckfast, does he?
Guilty pleasure food wise, right? So you mentioned earlier you like the dirt, you like that side of food as well. Like, what are you going for?
Guilty pleasure is probably. I don't feel guilty about it. I love
What's
I
your
don't feel guilty about
non-fine
anything.
dining pleasure then?
it. I love a McDonald's breakfast.
Oh, talk to me about
Oh.
the hash browns.
Ridiculous.
Talk
How
to
good
me
are they?
about them. Like, they are unbelievable.
Do you know what? I've stopped eating them when I'm hungover as well, because it has put me off them.
Oh, you want to savor it? You want to really enjoy
So
it?
like if I'm hungry, like a Saturday morning, we're really busy doing prep, getting ready for Saturday lunch and dinner. So like the odd time we'll send someone around, go grab a
big-
sausage egg muffins and a few hash browns, like, and then the wee cracker bottle of orange juice you get with it as well. It's perfect. It's amazing.
Brilliant.
But
The-
like I mean, you have to wait a while in between having them, like
Yeah.
once every 6 weeks or something.
And then on the other side of the scale, if you really wanted to impress someone, apart from Rome, is there anywhere you would take someone if you really?
Any chance I get that I'm not working, I'll go to Oxley. I've had there 15 times, maybe
Mm.
more. I'm
It
going
must have
away.
been-
I'm
been
going
the-
tomorrow.
I've been the Ox. I love the lunch and Ox.
It's incredible.
The lunch and Ox is
Aye.
it really, and I love the Muddlers as well. And we're very lucky here that we have so many good restaurants.
Unbelievable.
you
Even
know.
even the smaller scale restaurants are like just really, really going for it. Like it's amazing. You've so much cracking restaurants up in sort of Ballyhackamore, that
Yeah.
direction, and then the likes of Edo, Hugo, City Centre, they're all really, really good
Mm.
restaurants. Like and they're all doing different stuff as well.
Exactly, yeah.
Hugo more Asian style, and Edo's more European, Spanish sort of
'Cause
style.
I used to,
tapas.
I loved the thing they done a couple of summers ago, maybe in Ballyhackamore, where it was like an eating tour, and
Mhm.
you called it Ballysnackamore,
Aye.
and it was a pity they didn't carry on that.
People are smart.
So it was basically you went to one place and you might have had a pre-starter, another restaurant you got a starter,
That's
then a
good.
small. So it was like a walking buffet.
Yeah.
There
But
was
you
that down
got a
around
chance to
Belfast
get
for a
a
while
wee-
as well. Was
And I loved the name Ballysnackamore. Just went, that's catchy. And then the likes of the Belfast food tour, which will bring you around. And
even the street food now in Belfast, is
Yeah.
amazing. Like the ketos, tacos are unbelievable.
Mm.
You have to listen to Gary, like, which is a bit of a negative.
yeah, well,
It's slaggy there if we get a couple of tacos, like, but no, it's good. And then all the outdoor markets and stuff, all the food they're doing is class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant, Ryan.
and then we can not mention your father, who's like an Academy Award winner, who started off giving you the encouragement just to get you out of the house.
He
down
just
to-
wanted us
to watch-
keep. He just
yeah.
wanted us keep every week. Yeah.
And now he's an Academy Award winner,
He won an Oscar, like, it's mental.
which is brilliant, absolutely, and a brilliant film.
Mental.
Really brilliant.
It
wee
was
film.
cracker. Really, really good. Really, really good show. Hopefully it goes on and I'll do a bit more with it. But yeah, we were in my I have a wee bar at my back in the garage. We lockdown bar, like. One of them ones to say
We lock in, bar.
a wee lockdown. That's the problem. It's one of them ones started out like we'll put like a wee beer keg in the corner, turned into this full on
Got an old cold room.
full on bar, like.
Guinness deliveries every Tuesday.
It's actually mental. So we went there, stayed up late enough to watch the Oscars, like.
That must have been some experience.
So it was all sitting there, all going through all different categories, and then it was best short film, and the whole room just went silent. My dad sitting there with his hands on his head, and just like mental. Felt like about 10 minutes. It was about 40 seconds before they called out the winner, and then all I hear is an Irish, and then the whole place goes. I'll show you the video after here. Unbelievable. Yeah, really good. He's put so much into acting, like, as well. You know, he's done it for years and
Yeah.
years. So
Well, I think it's actually one time when I was in Rome when it said to you, and it's still, it has never, ever left my mind. The musical Dancing Shoes, wasn't
Dance
it?
Shoes, George Best
By
story.
George Best. And Ryan's father, Paddy, he was playing a role, and George Best was laying on his hospital bed. And your
playing,
dad
playing
went-
George Best's father at the
he was
time.
playing George Best's father, and he turned into Alex Higgins. And even thinking about it now, I still get. It was pure magic
Wow.
to see this in front of your eyes with no special effects, it was all just your dad.
And I'll never
I
forget
have
it. Like,
never
pure,
ever witnessed
incredible.
anything like it in my life. And I even remember saying to Martin Lynch after
Yeah.
it, and I said to Martin, that was just unbelievable. And to this day, and that's a right few years ago, like
at least 10 years ago now.
easily,
like,
easily. And that's never left my mind. I've never witnessed anything like it. Just pure magic.
Wow.
Alex Higgins actually died like about 10 days before that started.
Is that right, Diane?
So it made it a wee bit more.
Mm.
Seemed like it had more of a bit more weight behind it.
Yeah.
I remember that too. Like just
Oh,
turning on with
it
the
was
coat
just
and the hat on,
aye.
and then I had a cue on us. It was incredible. It was very, very good. That was a great show. Music and all was good on it too.
And then the last time I seen your dad was, and it was the first pantomime I've ever went to in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And we just said we'll go to the pantomime in the opera house. It was Cinderella. And I think your dad was Buttons or something there.
He's always
And the
buttons.
reason
He's
we
buttons in
went-
every one.
Because one of the
They're all
guys,
different. They're all different shows every year. He always assumes to be buttons.
no matter what the show is,
No matter what the show is. 7 doors, buttons.
zipper, you'd be zipper someday. And one of the guys had said to me that they were using jawbox in the pantomime. So at the song at the end, 12 Days of Christmas, on the 6th day, there was 6 bottles of jawbox. Then they pulled them out, so I had to go. But it was the best crack.
It's brilliant crack.
I mean, the amount of stuff.
All the wee slide
for
jokes in
kids,
there.
all the way that goes over the kids' heads, hopefully,
Aye.
and then just hit.
The wee slide jokes for
brilliant.
adults
So-
are what make it like.
Well,
It's
make
a family event, like, isn't it?
Totally.
Oh, that's
And there
good.
was more adults than there was kids.
Aye, there always is.
And definitely will not be my last pantomime.
Love it.
It was the best crack, really thoroughly enjoyable.
John Lennon too, like May McFadden's living legend.
Yeah.
Hilarious. One of the funniest people you ever meet.
And just even in real life.
Just
as well,
general, just in
gen-
general.
yeah.
On stage he's funny too, like you get for a pint with him after, like you leave her sore back, sore ribs, like swear to God from laughing. It's hilarious.
Class. Right, mate, final questions. Question we always end with. If you could go back in time to an 18-year-old version of yourself, well, actually change it.
It's not that long ago, really.
Yeah, a couple of weeks. Go back to a 19-year-old version of
Usually a couple
yourself.
weeks.
So you've just started your vegetable peeling job, and you bump into yourself in the street. You've got like a couple of minutes just to say something to him. What are you saying?
Stick at it. Just keep doing what you're doing. Enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Don't drink as much. Stay out of trouble. Yeah, that's about it.
Brilliant.
Just keep her lit.
Love it.
Definitely, Ryan, it has been an unbelievable pleasure. As I said at the start,
Thanks for
I was
having me.
delighted when you said you were going to do this because I honestly believe your story is just unbelievable. And anybody young coming up and has an idea, just go with your gut, really, isn't it? And if you believe
Yeah,
it,
totally. Like if you want something enough,
yeah,
it doesn't always work out like that. But if you want something enough, you get
and,
it. Like
and you're proud to put the work in. And
you need obviously a good slice of luck too. Like
Yeah.
you know, that's massive in anything in life. But just put the work in, and hopefully you'll see the rewards. Like
nope, fair play to you and wish you every success.
I'd
for the
just like to
future,
see, you know, in your story, like all the wee different journeys, you've kind of collected something from each of them, and you've taken
Yeah.
it forward into where you are today. I just think that's the way it works, isn't it?
that's life, like isn't it? Like
Yeah,
you
it
just try and learn from the stuff you've went through and use it to your advantage. Like you know,
Yeah.
try and stay out of trouble.
Well, Jerry's got a wee
So
gift
this
for you
is- This is tradition with the Jawbox sessions.
to help you stay out of trouble.
Hope it's.
This is your wedding present, really.
I was gonna say he's doubled up here. He's doubled up here.
So
Thank
that's-
you very much. Appreciate
Can
that.
I do the Jawbox session without a bottle of Jawbox? at the
Magic.
end of it?
Appreciate that. Very good.
Guys, thanks for watching, for listening. Producer Oscar, appreciate you. Jerry, pleasure.
Yes,
Thanks very
pleasure.
much.
Ryan,
always.
thanks for being here. Really
Thanks
appreciate
very
it.
much for having me. Appreciate it.